Okay, it is 6:10. I had to stick blend this one a little bit more. It seemed too light to me. Actually, it looks really ugly on the screen, doesn't it? That is pink ultramarine. I used about a 1/4 teaspoon in the water. No, about 1/8 of a teaspoon in the water. But it was so light that I added probably another 1/4 or 1/8 teaspoon for a full 1/4 teaspoon. When I was reading Auntie Clara's blog, I know she used a light ultramarine blue. She used a 1/4 teaspoon for a 1-pound batch, I think is what she used. So I'm using more than that for this pink, but that's just a judgment call. I don't know if it'll make a difference or not. This actually, believe it or not, this color, neither of these is at trace. They're still, this one is actually lighter. This one has TD in it, so it's a little thicker, but it's still not even close to at trace. And I've been badgering them, literally and figuratively. Since then, I took the stick blender, this one, try to get some extra ultramarine. I've got some speckles in there. So a little bit different hues. I put a little extra baby pink in there because my pink that I had worked out was Nurture's Red Velvet Mica mixed with white, and it looked almost identical to the pink ultramarine. So I wanted a little bit of a difference. There's enough, I think it'll do. And it'll also be very interesting to see if there's a difference between ultramarine and mica, because it does seem like I've gotten nice effects with mica. I haven't gotten anything as striking as she got with that ultramarine blue from last year. So this will be interesting to see. So I've been blending it for a good 7 minutes. We're nowhere close to trace. Just updating you. Okay, it's 6:23. I had to stick blend this ultramarine one quite a bit because I was having speckles. It's just barely at trace. It's certainly not where I wanted. I needed a little thicker so it doesn't spread out too much. And this is my other pink with the TD in it, and it is actually not at trace yet. I could pour this and it would stay together. It's past emulsion, but it would spread out. It's very thin. It would spread out too much. I need to hold just a touch of shape. So I'm gonna have to wait some more. And as you can imagine, I started this 6:03, so it's been 20 minutes. You can imagine the number of colors that you could do in 20 minutes. One thing that I have noticed is when I make low water batter, these cups, like when you combine the oil and the lye, you just hardly generate any warmth, which I think is part of the reason that this can hold so long, is because there's no heat that's keeping the process going as fast. So yeah, I think in 20 minutes I could probably, I don't know, you could probably whip up 50 colors if you wanted to. I'll probably end up stick blending this one a little bit more just to catch it up, but it's not at a point where I want to make my other batch yet. So like I said, this has been 20 minutes, low water, thumbs up. Again, I'm not going to stick blend like crazy in front of you guys, but this is my high water recipe. I stick blended the other ones, are more or less at trace. And as you can see, I don't know if it'll be close enough, but this is definitely more, it's whiter and more opaque than the other batter. And I just wanted to show that to you as a comparison. I'll come back when I'm done with my colors. Okay, I'm gonna do part of the pour for you. I don't know if I'll do the whole thing. It takes a while to do, and I don't know if you need to watch the whole thing. It's kind of boring. I don't know where it cut off, but this is my low water purple-ish, high water purplish, low water pink, and high water pink. The high waters look a little bit lighter just because of the additional water. So for this pattern, I go around and use and alternate the colors. I'm gonna make sure I alternate between low and high water batter as well, because I want those things to touch each other, see what we get. So I'm going to start with my low water purple. And you might lose track, and that's okay. Oops, that one's kind of big. Oh, the dogs. Oh, I need one more straw. And this gets a little neater as you get up higher and the soap thickens up a little bit. Oh, maybe I'll go with the high water of this one. To move these over. Oh, the dogs are going to start driving me crazy. They're going to get ready for supper here. But this one's a little thicker than it's a little thicker than my low water one, but that's okay. I don't mind. Not by much. So I just go around in a U. You can do, for this pour, for this challenge, I really do not care what you decide to do for your pattern. I just want you to try the low and high water. So you can do slab, you can do anything in a slab, any type of swirl in a slab that you would like to do. You can do anything in a mold that you'd like to do, layers, gradients, drops, hangers, whatever you want. I just want you to try the low and high water bit. So basically that's all I'm doing is going around in a U-shaped pattern, alternating the colors and the, oops, that one got in a little bit more. I actually want to lay them on top of each other, but this one's getting thick. This is one of the, that's the high water one. That's still pretty thin. And don't get too worried if you have thick and thin batter. The trace isn't staying the same. As you can see, the high water is tracing. It was at the same trace when we started, but it's going much faster than the other one. And that's okay. You can get some actually pretty cool techniques or looks when you're combining high and low water batter. So don't be wigged out about it. Go with the flow. Oh, I should have stopped earlier. This got really thick. That's what you get when you overstick blend, right, people? Yeah, that's right. That's okay. This is still nice and soft, so it'll work. So anyhow, I'm going to finish pouring. You don't need to watch, and get back to you later. Okay, I've completed my pour. I've got a little extra, but look at the difference here. That is the high water pink. It's definitely pudding. And this is my low water pink. That's been in the cup, oh, it's almost 7. It's still completely fluid. Here is my high water purple. Again, as you can see, oh, no, maybe you can't see. There we go, sorry about that. As you can see, it's thick and puddingish, staying on the straw. And this is my low water purple. It's completely fluid. It's dripping, in fact. So I would have had plenty more time. Okay, I thought I'd show you this soap is currently in gel phase. I did put it into my water bath. When you should actually do this because it's kind of fun. I shouldn't order you around, should I? When it's in gel phase, feeling it, you can feel the low water part that's still quite firm in the, ooh, it's really hot, in the gel. Let me see if maybe I can take this off without risking too much. So I may actually just take it out of the water bath now. See if I can get a little clearer. So that's what it looks like in gel, and then I'll show it to you when it's finished as well. First I will show you, this is the model that I was going after for the pour. Pardon the dried lather on it, but I tested it out after 4 years. And then I'm going to show you what I got. First, I think you should put on your pink filters. This came out far pinker than I ever would have guessed. It did not look this pink. So put on your filters lest you burst into princess giggles or otherwise have severe nausea, because this reminds you of Pepto-Bismol. But this is what I got when I first cut my loaf. That is hideous. What the hell happened with this pour? It looks awful. It looks like I cross-sectioned somebody's GI tract. It's absolutely, it's just one of the worst things I've ever seen. And this was the other end, which looks like a bunch of sausages or something come on and off of some meat factory floor. It's absolutely horrible. I was appalled. So of course I was not going to slice this direction. I sliced the other direction, and that I am quite happy with. I got a very cool effect, which I'm not sure is going to come across in the videos, but I got this incredible 3D effect with the bars. I'm trying to find a good angle that will give you this idea. A lot of this pink right under my thumb is right at the surface, and it looks very clearly at the surface. And some of the other pinks look further in the background, and some of them look quite far back in the background. There's one of the other ones. And so I kind of wish that I had done this soap in whites and blues, because I would have had a pretty incredible skyscape, I think. But I'm certainly not unhappy. I didn't rinse this one off, so it's a little harder to see. I'm actually really happy with the effect that I got. I've never had anything quite this 3D, ever, in fact. So a couple things. One is I let it cool slowly, more slowly than I usually let my soap cool, because I'm usually overeager. That, I think, contributes to the precipitation or solidification of different fatty acid salts at different temperatures, which give this streaking effect. I think that's possibly part of this. The other thing is that it was in gel for a long time. When I showed the gelled soap that I pulled out of the oven, it had been in there for about an hour from the very start. My water temperature stayed at about 140 degrees. During that time I had to, sorry I'm showing all my other junk. During that time I had to reheat my oven once to 170 and once to 190. As soon as it hit those temperatures I turned it off. But the water bath stayed very consistent at 140, which was great. Came out in gel as I showed you, and then I put it under a couple of blankets so it could cool slowly. But this thing stayed in gel forever. I finally took it out of the blankets around, that was around 7 that I poured and put it in the oven. And then at about, I changed my clocks, so it's probably about 1 o'clock maybe, so maybe 5-6 hours later, I finally pulled the blankets off because it was still in gel. Not hard gel, but it was definitely still in gel. And I let it cool. I pulled it out of the mold about an hour later, so about 7 hours after I put it in the oven. And my first slice that I took off, actually I hit a small spot of gel within the middle of the mold. So it was in gel for forever. That does definitely lead to translucency. I've done that before, where I've gelled something on purpose pretty hard for 3 hours trying to get a translucent effect. The soap that I made with that had really crummy lather, even though I used my normal recipe with which lathers a lot. So I was pretty nervous about this soap because it was in gel for so long. But I tried it this morning. Fresh soap, parts of it, I would bet that this part did not gel. And I got great lather. So the length of the gel and the slowness of the cool down may have given me this effect. I've never had anything this drastic. So just wanted to show you the outcome of the December challenge. So that's it. Have fun!